between the current strategy and the enhanced one that we're going to roll out shortly. So on the right-hand side here, you see the previous strategy or the current strategy that we have. And on the left-hand side, you see on the left-hand side is which one is this? Yeah, I think both of them are, this is the wrong one. I have to get the right one. No, this is the correct one. So on the left-hand side, we have the new one. On the right-hand side, you have the old one. So let's start from the top and see what are the differences. So on the top here, the first thing that we did is the take profit on the average. Here, the take profit on the previous one was 1.5%. We have increased this to 3% on the new one. When you look at the take profit independent, we increased that from 1.5% to 2%. This is the first change. When you look at the percentage of the amount that we're using at the initial trade is going still the same, 3.35% of the capital. Okay. Now let's scroll down and show you the other details about the covers or the orders. So Brian, I see your hand is up. So this is also good for you because you are doing that kind of training for your team. So you understand the difference between the old strategy and the new one. So the old one, we have cover number 1, cover number 4, and cover number 8 as average. So as soon as the market goes to cover number 2, then it considered all the above covers as one trade in one line or in one price. And as soon as the price goes to cover number 8, it's considered cover 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 as in one trade or one line of trade or one price. Combine them in one. Then the price have to go above that by 1.5% to close the cycle. And then as it goes down, you have the independent positions. So on the left-hand side, on the new strategy, we don't have average price. Everything is independent. And this helps the bot to work all the time and not to have a gap like what we have the gap between here. As soon as it takes cover 8, then it has to go above maybe by 5%, 6% before it's, or maybe more than this to close the cycle. If it fluctuates between that price and plus 1% or sort of plus 5, 6%, then it's not going to take any trade because everything is combined in one trade. But here, no, it's going to have everything as independent. Now let's look at the covers, the difference between the covers. If you see here on the old one, you have -2, -2, -2, -2 up to cover 8, -3. Here exactly the same, -2, -2, -2. The difference, everything is -2, even up to cover 8. And the quantity, the X times, I need to make this a little bit bigger. Yes. So cover 1, it was taken 1 time, and here's again 1 time or 1x. Cover 2, it was taking 0.55, and here we made it to take 1x. So this is bigger volume. And here cover 3 was 0.55. Here cover 3 is 1. Here cover 4 is 2. Here again cover 4 is 2 as well. It's not changed. Cover 5, 6, and 7 is 0.55 each one. Cover 5 to cover 8 here or 7. It's all 1%. So increase the volume on the top. And as we go down, then cover 9 is 1x. Cover 9 here is 1x, and everything below that is 1x, 1x, 1x until cover 14, and then from that everything is 0.55. This is the old strategy. The new one, after cover 9, everything is 0.55. So we're reducing, but at the same time, we are making the difference between each cover and the other as a drop is the same, -2% all the way down, and then -2.5% is the highest. Here, it goes gradually, -1.1, -1.2, 1.3, 1.4, until 2, and then 2.5, up to 3.5%. If you go down here, 3.75 or 3.5%. Yeah. So these are the main differences between the previous strategy and the current strategy. So Yogi, if you have any question, you can jump in. I know that this might not be understood by everyone. It might be a little bit more technical unless you really know the strategy and how it works. What I said now might sound like Chinese, so don't worry about that. Just watch the video where I explain the strategy in details, and you will get to know what it is. But you don't have to know it. You don't have to know it for the strategy to work or for the EazyBot to work. It's just for the people who are digging deeper into the details. They want to know the details. So I see Yogi, your hand is up, please.
Yeah. Okay. That's fantastic, Mohamed. That's good to see that. Mike, I've got 2 questions regarding this. So going on from cover 10 onwards on the new one, we're using less USDT per cover. It's literally half of Yeah. So does that mean then, let's say a coin crashes, 70, 80%, it wouldn't use, well, it will use literally half of what we're using now then?
Yeah, but the difference, look at it from here. The previous one was taking 1x from 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14 only 5 covers. And then from that point onward, it was 0.55. So what we did here is that we replaced those covers to 0.55% because we have used them here in those covers. Because on those covers here, it became 1 instead of 0.55.
Okay,
Yeah.
but on the new one, we can't really see the numbers because it's really, I don't know if it's just my screen or it's everyone, it's really grayed out. We can't
Right.
see the buy X
Yeah,
figures. Yeah.
it's
So from
0.55.
there.
It's 0.55 from 10
All
onwards.
right. So it's half.
0.55.
Okay. So it's half of that. But,
Yeah.
but then that doesn't explain if the market did drop heavily, you're buying half. So it is still using less USDT.
Yes, it's using less USDT only on those cover 10, 11, 12, and 13 and 14.
Oh, so
Because
it's only,
in the previous one, it was start 0.55 on cover 15.
right. I see. Okay. All right.
So
Okay. So it's only those few four covers. Right.
exactly, but that gives us more chance to have more money into the top here, into those positions. Because if you see those positions on the news story, maybe it's not clear here, but it's 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 instead of 0.55.
Okay, so you've got rid of the average on 4 and 8. So that means even if you're stuck at, say, cover 4, it will still sell cover 4 and then go to cover 3.
100%, 100%. So you
Oh,
must, if it takes specifically number 8, because when you take cover 8, you have a big distance from that price until the average price, maybe 5, 6%, 7%. So if it fluctuates within that region, it's not going to buy anything. But right now, without the average price, it's going to sell cover 8, which is having big volumes, 4, right? 4 times, 4x the initial one. It's going to sell it and rebuy again, buy, sell, buy, sell. And at the same time, it helps the average price to move down on the top.
okay. Great. That looks, yeah, looks pretty interesting. When another question is, first of all, the keep profit would be the same then, because we can't see the numbers on the left. That all remains the same?
The take profit, okay, keep profit is not exactly the same because on the right on the first cover here, it's 90%. So even on that one, 10% is used to pull down a little bit the price on the top or the cover on the top, the initial one. So pulling the average price is going to be maybe a little bit faster because you're starting from cover 1. If you see here on cover 2, for example, 1, you don't have anything. You're keeping the whole profit because you're closing the whole cycle. But here, any tiny movement in the market is going to create you profit and used to pull down the average price. So imagine if the market goes down and takes cover 8, for example, and then goes up and sells cover 8, then big bunch of the profit is used to pull down the average price, 50% of the profit. So it's going to be pulling it down faster.
Okay. So I guess say something. I mean, it is, we don't know what the market's going to be. So like XRP was very quiet for a period, probably hovering between a few covers. But then when it all of a sudden pumps, it was just buying and selling cover 1 straight away. So just in that scenario, it'll be slightly less profit. But then on the other side, it will be more. It'll be more profit because it's we've
Right.
got cover 4 and cover 8 on the average.
Right. And maybe while it does that kind of movement, it have already closed the cycle because it pulls down, it's closed this big cover and pull down the average price and then close it maybe even before. While in the previous one, you have to be waiting while it's fluctuating, waiting for the markets to go down to the independent region or go above the average price, which might take a little bit longer time.
But then why for cover 1 why aren't we keeping 100% of the profit? Because if it's a pump, if the coin's pumping and it buys at 9 o'clock and it sells it at 9:05, surely we should be, if it doesn't use cover 2, we should be keeping 100% of the profit.
Yeah, because you have the initial cover. Initial cover, you're keeping 100% of the profit. This is not initial cover. This is cover number 1, which comes after the initial cover.
Oh, right. Okay.
Correct? Yeah. So because anyway, the initial cover, if it closed, that means the cycle is closed. You're not keeping anything to move down the average price because there's no average price before that. The initial cover is not here. This is cover number 1, which comes after the initial one. So we're using 10% of that to pull down the average price. But if it takes the initial cover and goes above, obviously you're taking the 100% of the profit.
All right. So on the old system, then it's cover 1 and cover 2 is 100%.
Together,
yeah?
yes, exactly. Because combine them in one trade. They cannot be, you cannot sell cover 1 without the initial cover. You have to close both of them together or keep both of them together.
Perfect. Yeah, that makes sense. No worries. And lastly, when are we expecting this? And if we've got coins mid-session and stuff, how is it going to be implemented?
Sure. So as far as we tested, it's not wise to run this strategy on the existing cycles. So if you have a current cycle, it's going to wait, just like what we did with the previous strategy enhancement. It's going to wait for the current cycle to close. And as soon as the current cycle closes, it's going to start the new cycle with the new enhancement.
We don't put it on single or anything like that, do we?
No, you don't have to do anything. Just like what we did in the past. Just keep it running the same way. As soon as close the cycle, the new cycle is going to be coming with a new enhancement, which is this one on the left-hand side. And by the way, if you want to start immediately with that, those are the settings. And if you're starting a new bot, you can do a customized strategy and put those numbers in. I'll just show all of them so that you have an idea. And when you get back to the recording, you have all the numbers with you.